Welcome back to the Adventures in Silvernell Campaign 5, Episode 28. Woo! This is What the Fae, the Odyssey of Chaos. I've got my friends Andrew, Scott, Erica, Tanner, Ben. Wave at the cameras, my minions of chaos. Oh, we're all here. We are here. We are present. We are alive. We are well. Our characters, all those things are subjective. Last we left off, the players were all asleep, just having a good regular old nap. If you're a player here in Silvernail, this is regular for you. No one is safe, awake, or sleeping. And so we jump back into some chaotic sleep lore. I'm gonna be starting with my good old friend Desiree. Oh, I should have pulled up my little note card first. Reily, Desiree, we're gonna pick up in that dreamscape where we left off with you. And an important note, I should say, when you were interacting with Tiamat, you know that or you, Desiree, and also Desandra noted visually, Tiamat is a chromatic dragon. That's the red, the black, the blue, kind of like the son of the Tiamat. The egg that you were given that was sitting in front of Desandra, those were metallic eggs. They weren't of one color, but they kind of had that effect where, like, if you look at it from a certain angle, it's a different color. But they were definitely like metallic. That is a big note for your brain. But okay. I said that. I am scrolling. Boom. We watched Desiree, or we watched Desandra. We watched Desiree get pulled into Desandra as she was at the key change, which we know is the key change feast, which Desiree would know is the moment where the Eladrin and the Ganassi signed the treaty with Tiamat to get the aid of the dragons to fight the primordial princes in ages old. This is pre Will of Asteri. This is the acts and the preparation to creating the Will of Asteri that your great 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 grand was a part of. So you're just like blood related to old Rosa Parks. It's kind of fierce. You watch that happen. The Eladrin and Ganassi are known as the Elemental Kin, and you kind of got a big note of that scene was you got weird vibes from your dragon egg, just like gut feeling. It just kind of felt like a little tinge of jealousy as your attention drifted to other places. As you know, Desandra is in love with a woman named Lyric, and when looking at the egg and splitting attention between that Lyric and the egg, there was this moment of weirdness that even Lyric was able to pick up on. But you had a conversation outside, and kind of time just moved forward. We jumped ahead about 100 years through Fey lore in a little flip book. Oh, I hit this thing and it moved. In a little flip book, jumping 100 years into this covert training, we watched this dragon egg. We watched this dragon egg hatch and go from a tiny wormling, just going from I don't want to say ages because those are super specific, but going from a tiny like handheld drake to the one that can slither around your chest and torso. And we find you in a scene where, pause, let me read my notes because I got excited ahead of time.
It's a tween drake.
Yes, a little tween dragon. You are in your room, kind of like how you always wake up, and you're just kind of sitting there. You know there is something important happening this day, but you kind of just wake up and you can feel this drake around you, and it wakes up and it's just kind of like, oh, good morning.
She's gonna reach out and I guess give it a little stroke and go, "Good morning to you as well."
How are you feeling about today? It is the big day you make the pitch.
Well, I do wake up with the initial nerves, but As I tend to be, once I get up there and I get lost in my words, those nerves seem to die down, so I'm hoping that will be the case again today.
And you still are okay with banishing Tiamat, correct?
Well, I I think it comes down to less of what I as an individual want and more of what needs to be done in a way, if that makes sense.
That is the perfect way to look at it. It is not what you think, but it's what's for the greater good, and what is to stop Tiamat from usurping power, much like the primordial princes. It is best to just lock her away like the others, and then problem solved now and potentially later. It's
Yeah. I do have to admit it does pull on my heartstrings a little bit, you know. I have love for every creature that exists in this realm, and the thought of having, some say and something like that coming to fruition, it does make me feel a little sad, but like you said, if it is truly for the greater good, then it is what I must do.
there are hard choices we must make in time of war, and you don't want your children's children to have to be fighting their whole lives, do you? Like you've been fighting your whole life. This could be the way to stop them. The primordial princes and Tiamat. I mean, if only she has the power to stop the primordial princes, then if they are gone and she is gone, conflict resolved.
Mm. I I hate to admit it, but I do feel like I can be vulnerable with you. I just really hope that is truly the case.
Oh, of course. There's no fear in being vulnerable. We've been together for my whole life, and you're my only ally I've known. Why would I turn? Why would you turn on me? We need each other.
You know what? You're right. Even getting some of these thoughts and feelings out has made me feel a little bit better about everything, and I am glad, I'm grateful to have somebody like you as a confidant and somebody to be a listening ear.
Oh, of course. And speaking of listening ears, have you decided on your thoughts on looping in your friend, uh, Lyric? As he says that, Desiree can make me a history or insight check as you are spectating these scenes.
I got a nat 20 for a 24. Starting off the
Oh,
episode good, baby.
perfect. Desiree, in these moments as you are watching this, the history buff nerd in you is going off. It's like all the telltale signs of a villain that you see being made that like that you just like know this person doesn't recognize, but you know that you are witnessing the acts of a prepubescent, some may say, Asgarath, this metallic dragon who starts some shit in the Fae. And I think Desiree is realizing that this has some connection to you. You've always been like important historically, but now you're just kind of like layering in like, oh, there's some extra realness in there. Desiree has this moment. Now I ask uh, Erica, the player, for the choice to make. Do you, Erica, knowing what Desiree knows and what Desandra knows, and who Asgrath is, do you want to loop in Lyric into the throw Tiamat into the whole plan, or do you want to keep her out? This will segue effects of the future, but this is a thing that I want your player to have
So
some
so Lyric has no idea about any of this up to this point.
currently a secret.
I feel like
You believe
what
only
I
you know.
what I know of Desandra and my perception as a player, of course, of her being a descendant of Desiree, I think a lot of those characteristics would still be passed down. So I imagine her telling her partner or somebody that she's in love with because she would also want to seek validation and get like a second person who she trusts opinion.
Perfect.
Especially keeping in mind those first feelings that she gathered when she first saw that egg.
Yeah. Perfect. Um, and then so now you feeling that way, and we jump back to that moment where he asked you, uh, have you thought about your friend? And then Desandra can make me an insight check on that one. And since we're rolling off that nat 20, you can make that with advantage.
You're not going to believe this. I got another nat 20 on the first one for a 22.
There is you're talking to your bestie about your partner, and they are trying to not throw up, which is one thing that's happening. The second part of this problem is that you've been dating this person longer than you've known your bestie. Bestie is like new, and it's just like is doesn't like that, and you can feel that energy. Like this dragon does not like that you like someone else more than them. So you can feel that in that your friend lyric.
Okay.
And he
She's
kind of
going
just
to
like,
address it for sure. She's going to be like, well, I know this will probably upset you to hear this, but I am going to speak with her because I really trust and respect her opinion. And she might have some knowledge on the situation that I don't already have, or maybe some insight that could be important. But I do want to let you know that I don't think this will dissuade my opinion on the matter.
oh, of course, if you need someone else's opinion to solidify your own, I understand that it can be hard when making big decisions. It's just that there are often people who do not understand the scope. She does not wear and it kind of slithers, it breaks that kind of cycle of slithering around you and kind of slithers up your arm and lays its head on that bracelet that you're wearing. Everyone doesn't have a connection with us like you do. They don't know us like you. So just be careful. I would hate to see your heart broken for small misdiscretions.
Well, if that does happen and that is truly the case, at least I have you to fall back on, right?
I will always be here for you, my sweet, sweet Desandra. And it kind of swirls around you, then crawls around your neck and nuzzles you. You hear a knock on the door, and it is the only person who ever comes to visit you, Lyric. And as you open that door, you can feel they shiver as this Drake is around you. It shivers and it dissipates into you as it can be summoned and uh, desummoned, not dispelled, but like summoned and like put into a pocket dimension, like a familiar can. It returns itself to its pocket dimension space, and a dog going back to its little kennel, being like, ugh. And you feel that as Lyric enters. And as that happens, we move over to our friend Tidbitty, who is currently enjoying a massive feast uh, in the dream realm of one Sir Erver Summersong in spring form. He visited you and to offer condolences on the passing of Demina, Songkeeper Queen of the Fae, and express that he has had similar sentiments, kind of echoing his thoughts on losing the Fae in a divine concept kind of way as a god of time who has lost things in many ways. But he's offers you lots of words of insight and also some words of confusion and also some words of inspiration, it may have seemed. But he left you with a giant buffet, not bouquet, buffet of all of your favorite snacks from all aspects, all time periods of your life, some lived and some currently unlived. And you have all these things around you, and he just sits behind you, waiting for the moment you like come up for air from all that food. How long does Tidbit smack down before he stops?
Can I make a constitution check to see how long I can keep my breath held?
Yeah, go for it. I'm Olympic.
19.
Yeah. It is very Bugs Bunny or Scrooge McDuck diving into like a sea of gold, but it's you, a tiny frog, diving into a sea of food in your dream, sponsored by the God of Time. You are just like backstroking. It's a good. It feels like a good 45 minutes of what is can only be described as acrobatic or aerobic eating. You are keeping your blood rate up, and you are like you're consuming calories. It feels like breathing water as you consume all this food. But 45 minutes pass, and you come up having tasted things that you now know that you want to find in the real. You're like, oh, I have never tasted that before, and I know that I will not sleep well until I taste that thing, and it becomes my favorite food that I know will be my favorite food because it's here right now in this list of favorite foods that I know will exist. Time God moment.
Oh my god. Whoa. I've never seen that many snacks before, and it only made me hungrier. Um. Ooh. I'm just gonna take a breather. Just give me a second.
Oh, yep, no rush. Yep. You want a little? I got a chair for you. You want to have a seat?
Be nice. I think I bruised my throat. I wasn't chewing. I was. um.
Got to
Do you
work on
have
that
any?
one.
Do you have any water?
Oh,
Get you a
of course.
water. Yeah.
Just kind of like it's like, oh, sorry. And as he makes the expression of being sorry, a glass of water appears, and then you see another glass of water appears, and it's just like different glasses of water at various temperatures. So you didn't know what temperature you'd like in this moment, and so it's just all the temperatures you've enjoyed. So just a conveyor belt of glasses start passing by in ascending temperatures.
Ooh, 23 Celsius. That was a good year. Well,
You feeling good?
I feel a lot better. I'm ready to keep moving forward, I think.
Oh well, you could keep moving forward, or you could sit down and your 20 insight just sees the sneaking suspicion of your friend who just bribed you, and it's like, well, now that you're tired, here's my pitch. And he's like, he backs up and he steps away, and you see that there are 4 cubes on the ground, roughly 5 by 5 cubes. And he looks at you and goes, "What do you know? Remember, I asked a question of you and of your party. Who's the champion? And it's time to figure it out. So let's see." And he showmans the cubes. You see one cube is an amalgamation of roots and branches. That is cube 1. Cube 2 is an amalgamation of fire and leaves. Cube 3 is an amalgamation of gears and cogs. And cube 4 is an amalgamation of blue flames and red ice. And he just kind of like stands next to it. So, your thoughts?
They're cubes.
Right, but the cubes are symbolic. They are representations, much like a god uses a. Oh, okay. You know what? You see that that timepiece you have, symbolic for
Oh,
me. All right.
oh,
These
so
cubes
these
are
were
symbolic for.
the elements.
Okay, I, you're not wrong. There are
Okay,
some elemental things that are what are presented here,
I think
but
you have fire twice. I don't know if that's how it worked.
and so
Um,
did it,
oh,
if it were
um,
elementally related, then you wouldn't want to double up because that would be confusing. But this is not. But this is. Oh, okay. Oh, tidbit.
so it's not the elements because there's otherwise two fires would make no sense.
And correct. Two fighters would make no sense. Um, why do you point to the first fire and then point to the second fire?
Okay, there's one, and there's two.
I assume the first one you point at is box 1, the fire and leaves.
Yeah,
Is box and then box 2 is blue flames and red ice.
yeah.
Which on blue flames and red ice, which do you point at? The blue or the red, to be.
Well, did Summer Song ask this, or are you asking this?
I'm asking for a clarification on where your finger is pointing for Summer Song to respond accurately. When
I
you
guess
say,
I'm pointing at the blue flame.
"Gotcha." Oh, interesting. You know that they say that there's some fires that burn so hot that they're actually cold.
I've never heard anyone say that. But you are God.
There's ice that can burn, and there's sometimes they believe that there is things that can get so hot they just kind of freeze on a molecular level, not on a material level. It's gone, but they can be superheated to kind of stay. It's
Oh,
it's
so
a weird thing.
I should be pointing at the ice instead, because it's
Just to say, tidbit, everything's not exactly what it appears. Yeah.
okay.
Just gotta be careful of making.
This is the party? I'm sorry it took so long. It's symbolic.
It is the
Okay.
party. I knew you get there because you always do. Sometimes I forget how long it takes. So,
I didn't study well in school. I just kind of picked things up here and there.
yeah, when I was picking a champion, I kind of thought someone who was always in the right place at the right time would be really good representation of time. But now that I need you to do things outside of represent divine timing, you're slow on the pickup, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I can tell that you've a lot of things have been right there when you needed them, and that seems like I should do some rethinking when I pick my next champion. So, anyways.
Well, I mean, you probably saw this happening when you picked, right? So you were okay with it then.
Oh well, I don't necessarily. Well, when I make these choices, they kind of omit my interaction because I don't interact until I decide that without my interaction, it would have worked out either way, and then I interact, and then I have to limit how much I interact so that my actions don't then derail your future.
Oh,
I could be the bad guy, and it's a problem sometimes. That's why I can't tell you everything. Tidbit.
oh, that makes sense. If I knew everything, it would be really boring anyway.
Yep, that I would be really boring if you knew everything. If you knew everything, you could be the god of time or wisdom.
Oh, no, thank you.
Oh no, it's okay.
I
But-
just got a new job, and I don't know if I can take on that as well.
New job being the member of Will of Astiri. Yes, of course.
And the seat of music and the a cappella.
Oh, you plan to take them in a seat in the acapella?
I figured no one else was gonna do it, and maybe I could be like the face and not have to do the paperwork.
I think that is a great idea. I truly wish I thought of it myself. Roll an insight check.
26.
Who? You believe him? I rolled a 29. I rolled a 19 on the dice, which is just crazy. He's like, wow, that's awesome that you did that, and I had nothing to do with it. And you're like, you're right. I thought of this on my own.
I thought of this on my own.
You're truly divinely touched, and I appreciate that. And speaking of divinely touched, I want to just focus your attention back to these boxes. If one of these
Oh.
4 now you know party members were to be divine, which we could assume that one of them probably is because I, the god of time, told you that they would be near you, and I'm asking you about 4 specific individuals that could be coincidence, that could be on purpose. Who's to say? I can't. But 4 boxes before you, and I'll
Okay.
present them again in case you forgot. Roots
Just a
and branches.
quick. I
Oh
have
yes.
a quick question.
Mm.
Are you sure it's just one?
Do you make it sound like there could be more than one instead of less than one? Do you think that there are? How many do you think that there are?
Like 3 to 4?
I would love to hear your pitches. Let's start at the
Well,
beginning.
oh, okay. Which one? And are you pointing now, or am I pointing?
He points at the roots. He points and he sits at the roots and branches, and he's like, "Tell me about this one."
So that's an old man. Well, it's a cube, but it's an old man that it goes by Earth sign, and I think he always has these little things following him around. They're like made of wood, and I don't know if they talk, but they kind of spook me. But he's definitely he said he was looking for some sort of deity or daughter, and then we found the primal, what did Des call it, primal influencer, and he said that was her, I think. Then they killed her. Don't know why. Yeah, that one wasn't on me. But there's some sort of god back in there. I'm telling you.
All right, that sounds not like that sounds like actual information. So that is good. Great. I'm not gonna harbor on that one. Next, fighter and leaves. Which
Well, I was thinking that there's some sort of divine nature there because usually wood burns. And it doesn't seem like this wood burns. It actually moves like a person and a elf, because they are. And they also had, well, that's, do you remember the suicidal tree I talked about? Did I talk about? Anyway.
you've mentioned the tree. Yes, you have mentioned that the tree.
There's a certain amount of knowledge that one brain can hold, and my brain cannot comprehend the amount in Desiree's head, so I assume there's maybe some sort of divinity helping there, or maybe the fire is burning away old info to make room for the new information. And I think she's talked a bit about Tiamat, which sounded important at the time, but I'm not really. It was a long time ago. And she writes smut.
You see, Summer's on his book a notepad and like a therapist, and he just writing down. He's like, write smut. Gotcha. Links to Tiamat. Gotcha. And just writing things down as you are saying them. He's like, okay, cool. Gears and cogs.
Right.
He stands on this one. He's like, I'm gonna pose Captain Morgan style. He's like, gears and cogs.
I think that this is either the direct creation of a god or a new god in the making themselves. I've been thinking a long time about it, and the ability to change from an edible substance into a functional substance is kind of miraculous, you know? I always feel like you hear about deities turning types of food into other food, but not food into machines. They also, I mean, honestly, I've just never really seen anything like it. I'm the least committed to this sort of pitch for you, if I'm being honest. It's a hard sell. I do believe at one point we jumped near into space to communicate with their boss. So if they're all the way up there, that's something. Not many not gods up there. Well, you would know more than I suppose.
Yeah, understandable. And sometimes when you mention food, I do just get a little bit suspicious of
What do you
your
mean?
yeah. So this
I
next one,
I didn't lick them a lot.
blue flames and red ice. Tell me about it.
Oh, right. They're a fairy or a hag from the court of winter, I think. And that's just suspicious in itself. They also summon demons. And I feel like, well, it's either very powerful or it's just kind of evil at times, but they're not really the worst, if I'm being honest. I've seen eviler things, and but not many. There was one history teacher.
All right. Well, that seems like maybe a little more personally motivated. There's something going on there that you should unpack with your feelings toward Sylvie. Just yeah. Anyways, okay.
But,
So
it was only recently that you told me we were a little less righteous good and like, hey, beat some hoes up when you have to. So, can I say hoes in front of you? I'm trying it out.
I mean, you have said it, and it's not the worst thing. And as long as they are holes in need of righteous adjustment, then I guess
He gonna know what you're gonna say anyways.
Well, not healthy working hoes. That would be disrespectful.
Correct. It's much how I like to keep my priests. If they're not bringing in the right amount of donations and fellowship, strong hand. It's just I don't have many priests, which is also probably why.
Well, are you interested in money? I didn't really know about that.
No, I'm not, but I feel like people are really into like giving things to me, and I don't really want things, and it's harder for me, I've found, as a deity who doesn't want worship but needs it because I am divine, and that is the nature of the relationship that we've developed. But I personally am like, I think you should spend your time better on things than worshiping me. However, if you don't worship me, I die, and then someone takes my job, and what if they're worse than me? So I've gotten into
Oh,
money now.
yeah. Well, Demeanor taught me some ways to get rich quick. Okay. We could pretend to sell the Sky Defense Academy to a tourist.
I mean, I'm not against. I'm not like if you get the seat, as you mentioned, you want to be the seat of the court of music. You're in charge, and I will not say no to any donations. Okay, so whatever. I'm pro you. Uh,
So, do I still have to pick one of these cubes, or
well, we've done it. We got it down to 3. It seems. We've got the fighter and fighter and roots. There it is. Roots and branches. We've got the fighter and leaves. You don't seem too sold on the gears and cogs, so I'm gonna cut that one out, and it vanishes. And then we've got blue flames and red ice. And this one's I can't tell where you're at with this one, so I'm just gonna slide this one back. So of our 2 main choices, we've got roots and branches and fighter and leaves. Now, I know, Desiree, and Tiamat is a powerful being, the firstborn of the Fae, some may say, and I in my material form, respect that. Now that I've ascended to divinity, it's like, okay, cool. But being firstborn of the Fae is like, wow, that's crazy. Um, but not really divine in nature. More, it's a really powerful bad bitch and really, really old, and also kind of trapped in the 9 levels. So that is
Oh.
useful. A little. I've heard rumblings of things. It's not important. I'm sure it's all fine. Other sign. That one I don't really know much about. The weird creatures following him around. The allegiance. That all seems interesting. A natural leader. He has followers. You say they don't speak, but he seems to communicate with them or commune with them, and also care about their needs, even if they don't speak them for themselves. The whole primal prince thing, daughter, that connection seems. You don't think that he works for. Nah, I mean, it. You don't think that he saved the primordial prince's actual daughter, and he is like working for a primordial prince that is trapped in a different plane and wants to come here, right? Like he seems like a good guy, right?
Did I see him absorb Flora's energy with my 20 passive?
Um, make me a. It's gotta be a history check. It wouldn't be something you had to see with your natural eyes. It'd be a magical exchange. But you are pretty attuned to weird things. So give me a history check to see if you remember feeling anything weird.
Nope, nothing weird at all.
Nah, you didn't. You didn't see anything.
Not with the two.
The only thing that you can say is you know that he was the first to break out of the fungal mother's grasp. Like he was out of it already, and he prompted saving everyone else. And that is strong earth magic as the bad guy. And so you could theorize that maybe strong earth magic would be used against that, but you couldn't say for sure.
Mm, I don't. It would be hard to tell, but isn't there a possibility that he's just working for some nameless Earth deity? Or, I mean, you
Uh,
would know about those. I don't really consider the other ones gods because you have, you, the one true god. But
well, you really gotta work on that. I am a level 1 god, not the one true god. There are technically 2 level 1 gods, and so we can't both be the one true god if there are 2 of us.
oh, what's
Um,
that? I don't see them around here. That's crazy.
you're funny. All right.
You were an atheist, so I can believe in one.
Okay, don't just throw my past at me. I thought the gods were real. I just didn't really think that they were like super divine, and I am
I
still
think
on the
you're
fence about what
super
that means.
divine.
That's why you're my number 1 follower. So, okay. Um, I think when it comes to this one over here, points at the blue fire, red ice. There is a lot of disconcern I have. One with your feelings about whatever is going on with you and Sylvie, but also this person in general. I mean, just gonna recap that first sentence you said to me. Fairy hag from the court of winter. Second sentence being summons demons. So, I if there were a red flag, I think I think you know that it's a little fairy, and it's in your party.
Well, you were the one that gave him cool shit back at the start.
I
I'm
gave
sorry, I'm in a
everyone-
mood.
No, I gave everyone cool things. Everyone got cool things because what if there was, something that I you can't play favorites, tidbits.
No, I know.
I mean,
We
I
talked
do-
about
I
this.
do
I'm
play-
sorry. My mother died. You know how it is.
Just sort of throw that out there like that. My mother also died, and my father, and all my friends. I can keep going.
I'll get there. Don't. I mean,
Don't worry,
no,
it's not a
actually,
race. If it
my
were,
plan.
I'd
My
win.
plan was to not. All right. I'm calm. I'm calm now.
No, it's okay. I've honestly never seen this side of you before, so it's actually kind of nice that you do have opinions of your own and you don't just do what people tell you. So that is good. However, this thing right here, I don't think that it's good. I think that it's you know how I am a celestial being
Oh
and
yeah.
I represent we celestials represent let's not say good, let's say more lawful order. We are consistent beings that represent a thing.
Sure.
Yeah, whatever's going on with your friend Sylvie is also opposite of that. Um Infernal in concept, twisted in nature, and I don't know, frozen at birth perhaps. It's just some weird shit going on. Be careful, but also I think that you could I think the influence that they are having on you may also be reflected in the influence you have on them. So perhaps you getting a little bite and them getting a little more peaceful is not the worst thing to happen to the Fae at large. So,
I mean, I could also just banish them if you want. It's up to you.
I mean, they just
I don't know where they're from. I didn't.
he starts to think, and you see him. He's like, "Well, they would just go back," and he's like, But perhaps we just keep that on a back burner idea of because what if they don't go Inferno, then they're back in the Fae, and then they just come and find you, then it's awkward because you blocked them on. It's okay. But between these two, and he sums it up to between Desiree and Ursine, and it's up to you to decide who you think is best. I'm gonna go with. And he like points down, and is at the roots and branches. And as he's like pointing down, you start to shake a little bit. As
Best for what? Which one I think is best for what?
do you Ben remember the mission that he gave to you originally?
No, it was not in my notes.
He asked. I will look up and tell you.
I've been looking through them. I know it was look for a champion. They're out there, and then
Oh yeah,
I
it was
looked.
pretty super. It was super vague. I will give you that. But he once say, do 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 do. Yes, Summer Song, your god and benefactor has asked you to be on the lookout for a god's champion, like yourself, and to be a positive influence in their time of need. He did not share who this person was or how to find them, but he did say that you would know when you found them. Make me an insight check.
He was wrong. Ooh, 24 insight.
24. I think there's a part of Tidbit that has been viewing this as an assignment. Like he's been in school, like I need to go and find the champion. I need to do a thing. But the message really just said that there is someone as powerful as you, and to be a good influence to them in a time of need. Which now that you've like kind of been doing stuff, you've been interacting with your party. Summer Song is in that weird way of being Summer Song is asking you to less do a thing and more so just be yourself in a specific environment without telling you to do that. So he needs you to be in this party because there are crazy powers in this party, and you are someone he trusts to rein it in. So you kind of realize that Summersong has thrown you to the wolves because he's like, well, you keep them calm, probably. You'd be a good handler / wrangler. And he threw you in there under the guise of having a mission. And as
You could have just said that. You could have just said that.
you see the world start, he's pointing down, the world starts rumbling as if your body in the material plane is being accosted. And as you feel that, we jump over to a frozen wasteland that is Sylvie Ono dealing with a very mean granny who has turned frigid ice. Last we met, you were giving her some information about your time turning painting, as it may be, Tidbit, the champion of time, getting information from Desiree, this Fae insider. And I think you also got to the point where you told them information about, let me not say it if you didn't say it. Oh, and then the drama with the sisterhood came up. And when the sisters were mentioned, your sweet, loving auntie / granny / mother's facade cracked, shattered, and this icy hag formed in front of you, about 7 feet tall, so 4 feet taller than she was before. Frigid ice, her hair is frozen, shattering, and regrowing. She carries a frozen scepter, and she looks like a cold, brittle, frozen bitch. And she looks at you.
So normal.
Yeah, she's having a good day today, I'd say. Looks at you. Oh, you dare speak of the sisters in front of me, little one?
I did.
What say you about them?
Well, I mean, I told you they're the ones tracking me, reaching out to me. I didn't say that I had necessarily interacted with them.
Oh, if they reach out, I know you're one to return a call. It seems that they've become desperate, though, if they're reaching out to you.
You're what?
What do I call you? My lackey, underling, protege, apprentice? Just seems, why not come to me to send a message? Why go through you?
It's funny that you consider me all of those things, and yet they kept telling me that I was literally, I mean, not literally, kind of literally your child.
Insight check.
Dirty 20?
He rolls a disadvantage. Oh, 19. I hate it here. There is a literal face crack as you say, you just like string those words together to her. I have no children. I have projects, pets, proteges, things that need to fulfill their purpose before they become, well, without purpose.
And what exactly was my purpose then?
Your purpose has always been clear. Uh, this is a Tanner question. What has she told you? What has been the thing that she has told, or I guess it's a Tanner question, that she has been telling Sylvie to feed their ego? What has been the goal? What has been the thing fed to you that if you do this, you get this? You know, you're being powered by the kid, but what was it? Something specific that you were going for? Was it all?
I mean, I feel like it had really just been like implanted in Sylvie by her to just gain more power constantly and be like a powerhouse for her in that way. And just like she's got a lot of soul contracts that need fulfilled, and I was always a good implementer of getting those done for her.
Very true. I will take whatever your highest either intelligence or wisdom stat is to recall accurately what you believe her plans to be. At least for herself. You know her plans for you. What were her plans for herself? To see what Sylvie knows about that.
19?
Oh yeah, and what'd you roll? What skill?
12. Oh, insight.
Yeah, you kind of think into it, and you know that she has always wanted power, and that's what she's kind of instilled in you, is like this vague idea of power. But when she speaks of it, it is in. I think me and Tanner have talked about it before. So maybe that's just what my brain is like. Has this conversation happened before? She wants power, but power is a very specific and tangible thing in the Fae. A problem for her is, at least in your mind, she is a powerful biddy. Like you look at her now, you're like, oh, you could be the elemental, the primordial prince of ice, and you kind of think of like, why aren't you that thing? Why, even at this level of power, what keeps you at this like smallness? You stay in your own court. You don't become a part of the acapella. What is this? And the only thing you can think of is that they're missing the randomness of the circumstance of birth. The primordial princes are primordial princes because their parents had them. To be in certain seats of the acapella, like the court of winter, you need to be blood related to the chair. Some of them you need to be elected into. There are certain things that just are outside of her grasp. So no matter how powerful she gets, without any title or thing that she can certification that she can like wave around and be like, look, I'm a baddie, anyone can just challenge her. So she can't be like, well, I'm the queen of the Fae and you can't say anything about it, whether I'm 9 years old or 999,000 years old. It's like, I have the title, so bow down, bitches. And she's always been missing the title. The only thing she's got for her is hag, and she's gotten as high as she can as a hag, and you still hear people talk about her. And so she's just kind of like in this place. So she wants specific power. She wants you to get power. I think you're very much aware that in the course of this campaign that she is using you in a specific way to get specific power. I will ask you flat out, do you, Tanner, have any inclination of what her machination is with that? I don't think she said it out loud to you, but there's a lot of pieces that have been laid out.
Yeah, I don't think that she's like ever verbally said it out loud to me. But I mean, like, in my mind, because of the way that she moves, I'm like, you're summoning something else to do bidding for you. At least in my mind, is how she would go about essentially wanting control over the Fae, which I do believe is like ultimate goal for her, even if it is to just like stay in her lane with it. But also, she's that power girly.
Make me I'll take another insight check, and this one can be with advantage.
Ooh. Okay. 17 plus 7, 24.
Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, I agree with you.
Took me a second.
Sounds like it's high enough. You kind of like we start to move back through lots of things that you have been picking up on. There have been a lot of like uncertainty with the Fae borders now that the the primordial princes or the primal influencers are now affecting things, and like there is this tertiary exchange of power. So you kind of already connected on that, and you've kind of made note of that weirdness. On the tertiary level, you think of like the acapella. Now that the queen is dead, it's like, oh, and it's come up that now that the queen is dead, that these seats are now shaky for power, so that the governing body is also quaking. You also have allies with people who are of infernal stature, and you have heard from them that things on the infernal level are also wibbly wobbly. And to know that, and to think to even like entertain that all of those things are sheer coincidence, you would
Come
just
on.
have to really be like, you'd have to either be
Olivia.
really blind or be really lucky to be in a spot that you would know what is happening with the inner workings of the acapella, what is happening with these weird 4 specific entities who are doing weird things from their parents, and also like the other things that are like there's like just so many things that you have to like be in the room where it happens to know that it's happening, and it's like you just happen to be there and you happen to be nosy enough and to just be a person who thinks that someone's out to get you, and you're like,
Always.
and all that kind of culminates into, what does she want from you? And then you think about the one thing that you've said that you want for yourself, which is a seat on the court of winter. You want that a cappella seat. That is something that your mother would also want. The thing that keeps her from having that seat is that she is not of the blood of the court of winter.
Yeah.
I think the thing that you are most curious about in your brain in this moment is what is the blood of the court of winter. I think that is what is missing from you. You don't think though that is missing from Auntie Bibi, who lives in the court of winter, who has locked down the court of winter, who has all the inhabitants who have ever lived there. You know, no one leaves the court of winter and no one comes into it. And if you do come into it, you don't come out of it. It's like, it's locked down. Even you haven't been there. You just communicate with her and you know she lives there. She refuses to leave that place. And that is also just interesting in the sense of perhaps she is bound there in a ritualistic layer exchange of power. Like she is in her most powerful in this place. And the last thing, because Nat 20 insights have been crazy, the hags you met earlier, the Dark Sisterhood, they mentioned they were leaving the Fae to go to Baba Yaga, their mother, also the mother of Auntie Bibi, because things were happening. Weird things were happening enough that it shook 3 of the strongest hags under mother, of course. And they're running home to their mother, and on the way out, they were like, "Oh, you're staying," and like they just like threw shit on the way out, and so it's like your brain is like, "Oh, this big problem is actually maybe a lot fucking bigger than I thought," or it's being or it's just being like someone is getting money out of it. They're like, "Oh, this natural disaster is happening. Bet I'm gonna make sure instead of fixing it, I'm just gonna pick up all the pieces so I can gain all this stuff." And you see that happening with Auntie Bibi and her aiming for the Court of Winter and trying to get that seat. And so yeah, you know that the only thing missing there is that what is the blood that locks her out. And so she kind of like you kind of have that moment as you're in this contentious conversation that you have with a parent all the time, where it's like you're saying these words, it's the same conversation, and there's just like the actual conversation is the subtle jabs and like the deflections of like you're doing that, oh, you're still doing that, and it's like, yes, that is my job. That is, the thing that I love, and it's always the minimizing. So you're just like in this like conversation, but you're so like good at it, and you find yourself like in this moment, you're not on the retreat. You're just in a dance with her,
bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, and she's not stressed by it, but you can definitely tell that she's aware of this height of power. Speaking of awareness, you mentioned earlier last time that there was no case for your twin. And you note all those crazy insights. There's been not a mention, not a cut of the eye or anything from your auntie towards the location of that case. It has all just been right where you are, and that she's always planted herself behind that case to use it as like a podium. And this time she appeared and she was kind of at a desk. She made the chairs for you to sit and have snow cream.
But like in my mind, that's because I no longer believed it to be real, and that's
Correct.
why like she's not acknowledging it in this moment either because
Yeah.
I don't think it's real.
Which is another note to the testament to the power and the growth that you have to control the space in which you
She
believe that
manipulates me in.
that she has this power over you, and it's like, oh, but I can also control this world. I have some power over this narrative. I think Sylvia is really rationalizing that there is something to be moved
Settling
here.
in my haggery a little bit more.
Yeah. Um, yeah. But you kind of the words of the conversation just become very contentious. After she hits that ice form, any hopes of
Yeah, conversating out the fucking
getting
door.
anything good go out the window. But you can try to with a hell of a persuasion roll if there's anything that you'd like to try to get information out of her because she is worked up in this like dance. You could try to sneak a question in to try to get some information out if you have one in mind. You're welcome to do that, or we can move to the next scene.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to know. In some way, I would try to get it out of her, like why the other hags, like the reason they were fleeing, because that's like alarm bells off for me. Like, is hell about to be on Earth? What is happening?
Okay. Yeah. Roll with advantage because of that last sentence you just said.
I rolled a 19, and what is it? Persuasion
Yes.
plus 11, so a 30.
Yeah, you kind of like are in this dance of conversations, and you don't ask her about that, but you ask questions that you know will get the answers will be
Will
in that
lead.
will be in
Yeah.
that realm, and her explosion ends up being. They always said I didn't have any. They always said I didn't have enough power. Well, look at them run now. When it arrives, it won't matter.
When what arrives?
She just. It's like a villain being like, when he gets here, when I summon,
Yeah.
the Dark Lord of the great unknown place, and it's always like, oh, what? It is this thing that they know of that you have not spoken of. But I will tell you, Tanner, that the thing that triggered the advantage is hell on earth here. That line of sentencing, very specifically.
I had a feeling.
Yeah, and give me a history check with advantage.
Thank God that I didn't get it till
Because
that
you
way.
read Desiree's books.
Oh yeah. Oh my God,
because-
reading is
because-
help.
because smut history is good history.
All right, I rolled a 15 minus 1, 14. The other was a 2.
I think you start thinking about hell on earth, and the only other time you've seen weird wildness like this is in ages past when Asgarath ripped part of the Fae out and moved it into part of the material plane, which is one of the first things that like reduced the size of the Fae. No part of you, additional because crazy insight, no part of you thinks that your mother or auntie or granny, whatever you want to call her in this moment of strong feelings, no part of you thinks that she is taking anything from the Fae and sending it somewhere else. So that only leaves one option. If not to banish something, then to
bring something.
Yeah. And
That's illuminating.
yeah, I don't want to give you anything else.
I didn't think so. I'm like, that's a lot.
I thought about it. And I was like, you can phone a friend sometime later.
You already know it. On speed dial, babe.
Okay. I'll pull the friends. We jump to Ursine's scene, but before we jump to Ursine's scene, do we need to go to the bathroom? It's 8:30, which is our normal bathroom time. Before we start to get into tree play, that would have been a crazy sentence. We're gonna take a bathroom break, guys. I'm not gonna use wordplay here.
What do you
no
mean
rhyming.
would have been? You said it out loud.
I didn't say the rest of
Tree
it.
play.
But I didn't finish the rhyme, so.
Tree play, foreplay.
No, P play.
Oh no, I don't want to do that one.
Oh,
Because they're going to the bathroom. Okay, no, I
Maybe
said
like
it.
3 times. It was 3 times.
So I'm not into it. I just can't stop doing it.
Right? It's not even enough to be technically a hobby.
It's like how do I know if I don't like it if I don't do it enough to know I don't like it?
Exactly.
And that's my logic, unfortunately.
There's
See,
something wrong with all of us.
in our D&D games, we love to derail.
That's what
Alright.
the D stand for.
Let's go pee.
Let's go pee.
Let's go pee.
We are back in the bathroom and we feel way lighter. How about you? Okay, guys, we are out of a dream and just, into another dream. We are going from the cold into a tree. We find our friend Ursine. Am I starting the right scene? Yes. We find our friend Ursine. He is in a forested area. He is meeting with Agba's newest form, the mother, goddess of wisdom, a slightly middle-aged female tree figure who carries a big book that holds the knowledge of everything that is and will be. So many books that it used to be housed in a library inside of her body, and now it all is just in this book and in her brain. And we've learned that she can transfer knowledge from the book to other people by them touching it, as she did with our friend Ursine, as she showed him his past lives as Viz Priest from a previous campaign, Ukak from a previous campaign, and our friend Celia from a previous campaign that is also currently running at the same time in the timeline as this campaign, which caused a little flub in his memory as her alcoholism kind of like got in his brain, and we started to question how can two souls exist in the same time. We said, don't do that. Stop thinking too hard. It's D&D, it's gods, the tree. Just imagine one branch with a bunch of different ones. It's like, all soul options. It's great. I thought about it. But we find you standing there. Oh, also a last present you received. Your Blights, Viney, Needle, and Twiggy were stretched up and aged up as you saw them in their newest echo form. Instead of 3 Blights in a trench coat, it is now 3 Blights that kind of like phase stack into each other to become a more humanoid being. And they are now in a more teen form with some personalities attached to them. And that was the last thing she gave you. She pointed, well, the last thing that happened was she kind of turned you around to point to your new kids, the Blight Teens, as she called them. And you see them standing there. I'll give you a little bit about them. It's Twiggy, who has red-orange leaves on their bushes, and they just like look like they're eager for you to tell them to do something. There's just like this like teacher's pet energy about them. Needle is covered in thorns that kind of jettison out of all their joints, shoulders, elbows, and all that kind of stuff, and they just look very off-putting and edgy, kind of just like standing a little bit back from the other two to almost form a slight triangle or pyramid formation. And then the last one is a vine, a figure made almost all out of vines that are wriggling and writhing around to form a humanoid shape that is just like hitting all these like anime shy girl poses. It's just like Hinata, but it's just every scene she's been in, and she just keeps hitting these poses, and she's just shy. And you see this kind of like writhingness to her. And they stand and look at you. And they're just like, boop. And you see your now aged up Blights. Fatherhood.
yeah, they grow up so fast. Oh boy.
They all wave.
I
They don't speak. They can't speak, rather.
yeah.
But you can understand them. You do that weird
Yeah.
plant beast thing where you can like understand them, but they don't actually speak. They just their movements. It's like a dog,
Well,
you know.
I'm still Ursine, and you are all still you. Nice for us to continue to know each other.
The Twiggy starts to jump down like a cheerleader, and then she brings the other two forward, and they kind of like make a formation that is a chair, as if you're supposed to sit on them. They're like, yeah, and just make a chair.
I
for you to
don't
sit in.
have to sit on you. I feel like that's strange.
It looks really cool though. They do.
You look really cool though. Like that's a very you looks very comfortable. Thank you.
They're like, okay, and they kind of get back up. They got very like mime troop energy that is like waiting for you to need something. And then you see
I don't need anything right now. Thank you.
Agua is, well, I thought you'd enjoy having just a little more assistance, so there you go. It's real cute.
Thank you. They were very cute, and you still are.
They're just way more functional in this capacity. You don't have to take care of them as much. Now they can take care of you. You've been mentioning how tired you've been, and so now you've got some more assistance, some more capable assistance. Was the goal.
That's fair, but I feel like teenagers just brings so much more of a different kind of energy.
Oh well, I can speak from these Black teens' experiences because they are my experiences. That I think that you trained them pretty well. Is there a way that I could show you their competence, or is it just one of those things that you just have to see to believe in a natural set of circumstances?
Both?
Oh, of course. Black teens show their son all the things that, well, he's taught you to do. And they kind of like jump up, and you see they just start running all kinds of various drills. Anything that you have done training wise around them, they have absorbed in like a Karate Kid kind of way. Like you've raised like three little ninjas who like are now just like, we can do whatever we need to do. They just have these very stark different personalities. They start to do different formations. They join together and start to do things that your Echo can do. So they would just start to like move through like formations. They split up. They do like run around and like show you that they can like recon things. And so they, can just show you all different kinds of like weird training things. But they do move like you watch them and you're like, oh yeah, these are, if like kids went to a really weird military school that trained them to be like competent at a young age, this is the kind of kids you have. Kind of like what probably the kids that that Ursine's parents were really going for when like breeding the next generation of the Will of Asteria. You have done that by just being yourself and being nice. You've got these, calling them kids is weird, but like the Blight teens who are just like, are effectively, medium-sized creatures. They do look like scrawny. I imagine them as like totally spies, like Powerpuff Girls. Like, we are children, but we also save the world because we were trained to do so. Kind of type energy. But they kind of run all those exercises and they return back to you, and they're like,
oh, we're like our own little guerrilla army here. This is look at us.
and as you say that, they're in that single stacked form, and they just kind of, and it moves into a more simian form as they kind of like, their arms get a little longer, their legs get a little shorter, and they're just like, and they look like a gorilla would be the best way to describe what this new form looks like.
You're all very clever. Yes. Is that Uka? Is that supposed to be? Yeah. Okay. Uka. Yeah. Okay.
It's so sweet. Oh wow, I love that. Well, I guess being a goddess of wisdom, I do think I know it all, and that is sometimes unfortunate to those around me because you want things when you want them, and not the things that I know you'll need before you know you need them. And it's kind of like, why'd you give me that? So how about this? What can I do for you, if anything, of no repaying of debt, just a simple boon for being you? Is there anything I can do for you? Answer any questions, or uh, I don't really do smitings, but I can grow a lovely garden somewhere, or uh,
There's only one person I would want to smite, so I guess that's fine.
just out of
I do.
curiosity.
Yeah. Oh, geez, what's her name? We met her just recently. She's some sort of hag. Is in
Oh,
like the fungal growth or whatever.
oh,
Uh,
mm,
you
mm.
you're aware? You're aware? Yes.
I know of whom you
She,
speak. Yes. Okay.
she knocked 3 arrows into um Twiggy, Needle, and Viney, and I was not appreciative of that. I'll tell you what.
It does not seem like the nicest thing to do, I will say. But the Fungal Mother does have that sort of reputation. But I'm glad that you kind of, from what I understand, put her in a place in a very Earth Sign kind of way. You didn't get all fighty back. You just removed yourself from the situation. That's the power.
Yes.
Just
Thank you.
replotted yourself. I love that.
I do have a question.
Yes,
Um,
please.
it doesn't refer to the hag at all, but more about your nature, if I may.
Sure.
Um, well, earlier you said you were. Well, I was sent out to find your daughter, who turned out to be a primal influencer, as we've come to know their title, and you being a primordial prince. Um, to an extent, it's muddy, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
muddy.
I think well, at least some clarification. I do not believe myself to be a primordial prince. I don't. The way that the book explains it, there was 4 primordial princes, and there was an earth one. And when Summer Song sent me here, I kind of took the place of that thing without. I didn't like become the primordial prince. I just became a powerful earth entity that deity that it was. And so now I guess the easiest way to explain it is that there were 3 primordial princes. But the thing about that is I had a child already, and Teros also had a child. So when he got deleted, his child just became my child, even though I was no longer who he was. And also, you know them as well. That is the other Flora. Penelope was, yeah, she's
Yes.
kind of like the other man's kid, but she no longer existed. And then now I had mine, and who now also no longer existed, but did take her place. It is very divine conspiracy is complex even for me, and I'm supposed to know it all. So it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Well, do you help enlighten me a little bit, because my goal, or my group's goal as the Will of Asteri, is to hunt down or prevent the coming of the primordial princes to the material plane, or to the Fae as well. And so, do I? I don't plan on doing this to you at all. I guess I've already done it to Flora. What is your goal?
I think actually the question you should be asking, I think actually the person you should be asking that question to is you. Why are you trying to stop the primordial influences? What are you doing this for? You're trying to save the planes, you said, because
Yes.
they're coming here. Okay,
Yeah.
you don't want to fight them. That's the problem. You don't want a war. I'm assuming there are many
Yes.
iterations of history where you did fight. Okay, no war. Perhaps
Though
Just-
they're coming, and their destruction, if possible, would tear the planes apart. So there's an impasse there as well.
Well, history shows that the primordial influences or the primal princes will always be coming. That is almost like asking fire to stop being hot or rivers to stop running. They will do what they do. The way in which that we've normally handled those things is by making artificial uh, blockages, and that's kind of what happened with the original Will of Mystery. They could not kill these forces, so they simply banished them. Perhaps you just need to reaffirm those banishments or those blockades and keep those spirits out. I will say that it
Or
does
for
not
keeping
affect.
them at bay.
Correct. Because again, if you were to find a way, let's say, to destroy me, if I were the primordial uh, prince of Earth, which I am not, I am a. I do give Earth goddess deity, but I am the divine representation of knowledge, and that is where I live. You technically are the new harbinger of the power of Earth, so you are more of an Earth deity than I am. I'm a wisdom, knowledge based deity. Don't let my skin complexion fool you. Uh, but there's just a complexity to how you could solve that problem. Blocking the door just seems like the easiest way. You, like I said, you can't stop fire from being fire, so just use fire for things it's good at. Put it in a stove. You put it behind glass and use it as a light. You use water to power things. You just need to use these things outside of their natural arraignments. So blocking off the portals at which were already established seems like the easiest idea, and it won't hurt them, but also it will protect you if your goal is to not fight and just keep them out. Just close the door and lock it.
This is useful, thank you.
And I do think you have the power to do that, which is something that the old group didn't have. They were mages of all kinds of sorts, struggling to get things done, but they were fighting the primordial princes while the primordial princes were at their peak. They didn't have thousands of years of time knowing the primordial princes exist, magics that develop and compound on themselves. The primordial princes couldn't get back in. They had to send the primal influences, a weaker version of themselves, proof that what had happened works now. They themselves changed their mentality. Perhaps is all how it's supposed to go. If you want to come out, it just took a couple steps. That is the fun thing about time. Sometimes you freeze. No,
Cryptic.
yeah. Sometimes weird thing about time is sometimes you just have to wait it out. That is the will of Asteria after all. And I think
We
you
don't
are
really have.
the moment we've been waiting for.
Yes.
Yes.
It's just getting closer to the time where we have to take the action. And it responsibility forced onto me, and it's unnerving.
I think you should, as you've always done, take the things that have been presented to you and turn them into something that serves you. There's power inside of you that needs to be cultivated, and you should cultivate that power into something that, at least now you know what you want to do with it. Turn that power into something that can protect the Fae and lock that door. Uh, you just got to get the other powers on that same playing field. Lock all four doors, then all four primal influences or primal all four powers at play are locked away.
I see.
I
Well,
believe in
thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, if you want to talk about retirement, I'm here for you. I
I could go on and on about that. I don't want to bore you, really.
Oh, perhaps another dream. But it's hard to think about quitting when you have such a cosmic purpose, as it were.
Yeah.
Saving a whole realms or more of people is just that's a lot for anybody. So I thank you.
Ignore.
Thank you to you and all your friends for dealing with this on top of whatever you were already dealing with in your life. So thank you.
Thank you.
And I do hope
You're
more helpful than trouble.
I'm sure that they will be. I'm just apprehensive. I got used to them in the previous state. Um, it'll be a new change, and change is good.
Yes. Make me an insight check as you kind of look back at the blights and have that moment.
Huh. Not insightful at all. Come on. 10.
You can't put your finger on it, but there's just something about that trio of blights that just reminds you of something. Just a socially awkward guy, a super shy like girl, and like a charismatic people pleaser. That trio is just like it's on the edge of your brain, and it just kind of sits in there as we leave your scene and move to our friend Null, who is having probably the worst night of everyone, as Null doesn't dream. This is just his real life falling apart as he received 2 messages. One, a message that he's never seen before, first time ever. Eye starts blinking, projector comes out of it, and he gets a warning that seems to be broadcasted to all of the Warforges across Warforge Nation. across the globe, a fail-safe of sorts, a mission, a missive, woof, / directive. That was the words I was going for. Sorry. This is directive from Prime Ultimatum. So, informing all Warforges that they have been attacked by forces and that things are very much. Uh-oh.
We're having
I think it's
connection
all-
issues.
You sound like a robot.
Okay, so
Uh-oh.
let's pause for a second.
Check.
On my screen, that entire
yeah.
monologue was glitchy.
Yeah, same.
Okay. Everyone froze, and I was like, "Wait, what's happening?" Moving around.
Everyone's frozen. Oh no.
That's what I am. I know what's happening.
Is it everyone? Who is it
Bathroom
not
break?
affecting?
So it's happening to everyone at once, and then we come back in moments like this where things are fine.
That's the same for me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
So it's a Discord
experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, it's just
probably.
a Discord issue.
Anyways, continue. We're on a roll now, but if you start talking again, it's you.
Yeah.
No, had a really hard time realizing I don't just start the whole thing over again. Man, no, who didn't go to sleep, got a message from Prime Ultimatus, a directive that seemed to be implanted in him as a failsafe attached to all Warforges, and he's never gotten it before, and it was really weird, and it told him that Van Greech was under attack, and he was like, that's crazy. And then moments after that, he got another message, his regular message from a chest inside of him. Actually, he was holding the chest. He's holding the chest, and it vibrates, and it's like, oh my gosh, Unit 60 has been attacked, and it was more information that came out than the first message, and our Warforge was like, wait, This is Primatus. Oh no. It's either free. I'm just gonna pause. I can see the.
But you're good again.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
Back.
And he gets a second message from the Prime Ultimatus that normally communicates with him. And then he's like, why is Prime Ultimatus sending me 2 messages if I'm already in his secret service? Why am I getting another message? And this sent him into a spiral. And by him, I mean Scott Nicholson, who was confused, which is what I wanted from him. So it all worked out. And he got so stressed that he freaked out, jumped into a hole, grabbed Tidbit. I see us freezing. Jumped into a pool, grabbed Tidbit, started to shake him awake, and that is where we pick up as he is shaking the shit out of Tidbit. Tidbit, make me a Constitution saving throw. Whew.
Nice
That was actually the
portrayal
intro. That
of
was the
the
intro.
intensity.
That's going to be a 10.
You start shaking him 4.5 hours into his long rest. Wake up! And you grab this fish who is hiding in his secret
Krug.
underground side pool area that only you know about, so only you could find him because you watched people sleep and he invited you there.
Yeah.
You go in there, you get him, you shake him, and you wake him up as he is rambling about cubes and gears and
Tidbit.
No,
they're all
no,
elementals.
Tidbit.
it's too hot. It's cold. It's so cold. It's hot.
Wait. No, Tidbit. The water's perfectly warm. Wake up, Tidbit. Tidbit.
Is this important enough for me to not get a long rest?
Huh?
What?
Listen.
I like to sleep for hours on end.
I know. Tonight, we're just gonna make it hour, and then a tide at the end. Come on, I need you for a moment, please. You know my secrets. You know about my boss.
Okay. Let's fix your existentialism tonight.
Grab him,
All
kick
right.
off through the door, quickly roll up the side, put him on the shore. All right, look. I'm gonna, like, the chest is still floating out there. Chest message, remember? Okay, listen, confession. Look to see if anyone else is awake. Alright, so
Nope,
when I
Ross.
was talking, I was actually talking in the chest. Yeah, and you called it. I heard you tell someone, your boss. You were right. But here's the thing. Tonight, I went full R2-D2, and it was a real message from inside of me. So, one of them's a fucking joke here. You know bosses. What should I do?
Oh, I can. Okay. It's probably could have waited till morning. But I have a 100% absolute answer for you. I deal in hard truths here.
I trust
And-
you, Frog.
Any message from inside yourself is definitely true.
I knew it. Okay, this is why I woke you up. You're the one who knows how to,
You've
like,
been misled this whole time.
Exactly! I've been working 2 jobs for 1 price.
That's not equitable. You could probably join some sort of union over that.
Probably. I need you to dispel it.
What?
The chest that I use, I need you to fucking make it go away.
Oh, it's a
Kabushka.
chest, can't you? You blew it up before. Can you just not blow it up again?
Well, it was more symbolic. It's kind of like just a magic thing I could do.
Oh, it's like a real.
It's real magic.
It's like magic chest. Okay.
And
it's-
why is this a weird concept? You do magic, I do magic.
Well, I mean, it was a chest. I just kind of figured. You do magic?
I've been throwing down robotic cheese, Tidbit. Sometimes I feel like you really don't pay enough attention to me.
That's not really magic, though. That's just a machination of physics.
Well,
And
where did you think they come from? They're big. Those can't fit in the war holes.
I mean, I was never going to ask about the war holes and what fits in the war holes and what doesn't fit in the war hole.
I'm just gonna kind of tilt my head down a little bit. You never have to ask. But listen, I need you to dispel it. It's magic. I'm gonna make it go away. It's gonna shrink in my hand, and then I'll put it in the war hole. But then I can just do it again. It's in me.
Well, Wait, did you not act? I thought you threw it out into the ocean.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's like a magical spell thing, so it can like change sizes and then open up. But like I just flavor it by having it come out of like one of the cracks in the metal.
You're right. You're getting the lowest spell slot for this, though.
I gotta sneeze. Hold on, tidbit. I don't wanna miss this. All right.
Okay. Oh.
Oh,
Any last words or?
last words, tidbit. Don't kill. Do you even
Well, I
like
mean,
me?
for the chest. No, for the chest.
Oh yes. Oh. Sorry, we are real living beings, and we sometimes have to sneeze.
I've never seen a robot sneeze.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Valid.
Where the hell did that come from?
All right, tidbit.
I'm very confused because you said you don't use the bathroom, but you clearly expel something.
Listen, you're delaying your own sleep, buddy. Okay.
That's true.
And no words for the chest. Just do it.
Dispel magic. Wow.
Beautiful. Read me what Dispel Magic says. I'm also pulling it up. Just to make sure.
Any spell of 3rd level or lower ends for spells of 4th or higher, I have to make that in 3rd level right now. So just gonna do a 3rd level, make a check. DC is 10 plus the spell's level.
Yes, I would need a spell check. Hold on. Dispel Magic. Oh, it's your spellcasting ability. Yeah. You need to beat a DC 15.
Yeah, okay.
I had a sneeze attack. Sorry.
How about a 15?
See a 15.
Yeah.
Is it?
And lucky for you, meets it beats it. Oh, no, yeah, it works out. Yeah, you grab onto that chest, you kind of hold it in your hand, and your other hand you hold out towards no, as you're trying to sever the connection between this chest and him, and you feel that uh it is a complex magic. It's a spell that has been cast. It feels like a permanent spell, as in a spell that has been cast over and over again. So it gains permanence, kind of like uh, teleportation circle works like that. I believe Temple of the Gods works like that if you cast it in the same space over a year. So it kind of feels like it's one of those things that like it's been cast on the same creature for so long that it has become like a permanent spell. So like the removing of this spell feels like you are doing some sort of weird magical version of like open heart surgery on this guy. As you're like just like Sylvie would love to see this. You're just like altering the weave as you are just like pulling these forces apart, and the weave is like snapping and tearing as you are sewing it back up, and you successfully dispel this magic. No, you feel in a weird way like lighter. It's like when you just like accept that if you fail this test, your grade goes from an A to an A minus, and you're like, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it, I'm gonna fail the test, and it's just like, woof. It's like, oh, I should have decided that so long ago. You're in that moment of bliss, and you're just like, "Oh,
There's
as
no
he dispels
bliss.
that."
This means that whole fucking spiel I went to with the Prime Ultimatus was fake. Those screens were fake.
Okay. So I take no liability if you don't feel better after this, or if the magic's back.
No,
and...
Tidbit, thank you so much. No, this basically means I'm not being spied on, you know? People try to get in here all the time. I don't know how planar telecommunication works, you know? Thank you. I owe you big time.
Well, in favor of honesty, you're probably still being spied on, you know? I see everything.
Okay. All right, that's cool. Listen, I've taken up a lot of your time. Why don't I take you back to bed?
That would be good, so I can get that spell slot back.
I got you.
My...
gonna pick him up again and put him on top of my head to show for him back to his pond, and I'm gonna cast haste on him. He might fight a little bit of energy tidbit, but don't worry. One punch and end of this spell, and you'll be lethargic as hell. I'm gonna jump back into the water.
Fun fact for you. Did you
Yes,
know that
slow motion
God
jump.
said it's okay to beat people up sometimes?
Who said that?
God.
You know, this God person, they're starting to grow on me.
I think me too.
Have they told you anything yet about how time works or what's gonna happen?
Oh, you know I wouldn't tell you that.
Time will tell.
No, well, probably not, honestly.
Yeah, I'm getting that. I'm gonna open the door.
He's very secretive.
Swim in through the door, and just end the spell right as you get to wherever you were laying before, so you're lethargic.
Just like a thumbs up.
Perfect. As he is sitting right back into his moment of slumber. That's a sneak attack. Attacks
Something
our
is
robotic
over
friend.
here.
He just, I cast acid splash. Yeah,
For
acid
real.
splash. Yeah. Trees,
Rich
watch
went from
out.
Discord to Scott.
Yeah, there's a literal bug-to-bug transfer.
Get it. You have successfully waken up your buddy, gotten your chest dispelled for the first time and is no longer attached to you, and successfully put him back to sleep in the smoothest amount of time you've ever had interacting with Tibbet or anyone in this party. That was crazy. There are approximately 4.5 hours into this rest. You spent 10 minutes doing this. There's that much time left for the rest. Anything in particular you want to do or think about or not think about or blow up or
Okay,
sneeze
well,
on?
I just want to say I've noticed over the travels of people talking about things that they've all of a sudden known, but like they say it after we've taken a rest. And so I'm starting to, with my intelligence score, realize that there's something going on while they sleep. So
Mm-hmm.
my just watching person beside their bed has now turned into going between the rooms in my time to see what their patterns are, because I've seen them sleep now, what their patterns are together. Is there any sort of like what's going on? Are we being spied on? Especially after Tidbit said that. So it's kind of coming across as like reconnaissance now of like we could be infiltrated by outside forces, but also that intrigue that I always have about how humans sleep.
Perfect. Yeah. I would definitely say make me a history check with advantage because it's pretty clear that we know you watch people sleep every night. Always. So we feel like you would have a pretty good
Dirty 20.
recall. Yeah, there have definitely you like kind of think about watching people sleep and you've seen Desiree sleep. Example, you've seen Desiree sleep on nights where she's woken up and it's just kind of been another day. And you've seen nights where she's slept and she's woken up and she's had like an epiphany or these talks about Tiamat or these other lives she's led. And there's a level of energetic expression that happens when people are sleeping. These when you watch them sleep, they're like it's not a lot of moving. There's more like them muttering words to themselves as if they're like living out these scenes. You can like you now know you can like tell when they're having these moments. You can tell a regular night's sleep versus I'm having a
Yeah.
whatever Sharp wants to call these moments.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, does Sharp care about who they're talking to and want to do any research into that, or is he just interested in the fact that they are doing this?
Um, I'm more I don't care about their backstories. I'm more interested in like how their energies are changing as someone who grew up on the streets of Van Greech and uh, Silverware to be like watching people constantly. So it's like kind of anxiety and worry all the time that anybody can backstab me at any second. But also I'm starting to care about him now. And
Mm,
like we're all kind of in this together. So I'm also worried about them. So I'm just seeing how the party's gonna react together. I'm more concerned with cohesion at this point. Because it's my
gotcha.
directive now.
Yeah, I think that the only thing that I can give you attached to that is you've been watching humans, they were food folk, but humans interact for a long time and kind of moving through the world. And this group of humans or humanoids move through it very differently. They are a little bit more contentious with each other. They don't do the thing where they're like being fake polite. Bless you.
Thank you.
They're not doing like fake politeness. If they don't like something, they will just kind of like be mean about it. But also, they, like you, have this objective awareness. They are always moving towards something, an objective or something else that is refreshing to you because this is the first time you've seen other people seemingly doing anything. The big thing about humans is they're always just kind of there. It's existing, particularly food folk. Their whole thing is like living in the human fantasy of like, I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna do all this stuff, and that is nice to them, and that to you as like a thing that wants to always be progressive is annoying. This group is always just doing that, and you find it interesting in that way of being like, oh shit, like these people do all want things, and you see different aspects of like things you can get out of them and little parts of you that they have incorporated. You're like, oh wow, like I had a conversation with Ursign and like it was actually felt like a like real conversation and feel transactional, like a lot of your conversations often do when you're like investigating people. So I think all that you feel like you're on a good place. They just feel the most alive. They feel very not NPC energy, and your brain is just like tracking that. And perhaps it is the fact that they sleep, and then like in their sleep they're getting these updates, or like maybe that's when they're just like processing a lot of things. Maybe
Okay,
that's
I'm
what like
updating my mental catalog now of humanoids that sleep. They're really space travelers because they have an innate ability just that they have to do every day to travel to another plane of existence. So they're
yes,
travelers.
yeah, I'm here for it. And that is a kind of the thing that um Null kind of like learns and is like feels confident in that moment as he like sits and spends those last few hours processing, and you never realize how much time passed until people start to wake up and you find yourself you didn't even have time to make breakfast today. You were so into this like thought theory of being like, man, like I care, and I think that is a thing that is like enraptured you, and it's like, whoa, feelings are wild. You're just gonna spend a lot of time thinking about your friends and caring about them, and to the point that they wake up 3.5 hours later, whatever the math is to get us to 8.
Wake up,
They
everybody.
all, yeah, they all wake up, and they all kind of, and you see that energy that we just talked about. You see this like twinkle in their eye that there is this moment of, oh, they've had these chats. They've traveled tonight, and you kind of see that on
And
their
I'm not
faces.
making food because that would be the time to make food.
Yeah, I think, and then perfect segue. As you see that on their face, you're like, you start to make food because you know these weird things like to talk when they eat food. So it's like, bet if I make food, they'll be more likely to share stories. And as we wake up in the morning, Null starts to prepare an amazing breakfast, and everyone gathers around the table. And I will let players share what they want to share next time when we come back. And we will be leaving the hut, going out into the world, and probably not dreaming. Yay! Real life trauma instead of dream trauma.
Love
Um,
it.
Awesome job. Lots of great questions asked today. Probably some annoying answers given. But I think we're on a good track. A lot of people are moving in the correct path. I am always going to give you more things, but then a lot of you are just too damn smart. And if I say the wrong thing, you're going to grab onto it. I'm like, nope, can't. Sorry. So thank you for playing along as I edge you through this last couple months of D&D Campaign 5. But that is all for me this week. That is all for my players this week. We'll be back next week. Same time, same place, same chaos, different environment. We move back into the court of summer. So goodbye, my friends. Until next time, we're all going to be alive. It's going to be well. Andrew, wait.